Like always, today's episode is brought to you by our amazing sponsors: gluten-free diet water, premium junk clothing, Williamson wines, Good Dudes coffee. Gluten-free diet water. Stay hydrated with a refreshing twist. Perfect for those health-conscious listeners. Premium junk clothing, for those who love to express their unique style with high-quality fashion pieces. Visit premiumjunkclothing.com and use code EverydayGSD15 at checkout. Williamson Wine, natural artisan wine from Napa and Sonoma. Good Dudes Coffee, veteran owned by former Navy SEAL Josh Bridges. Every cup is brewed with passion and dedication to quality. Visit their website at gooddudescoffee.com and use discount code EverydayGSD10 for an exclusive offer. And also, don't forget to visit the Everyday GSD store at darinbibeau.com for all your official Everyday GSD merchandise. And now, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Everyday GSD podcast. Today's special guest, and by the way, is an absolute amazing human being across the board. We've got the chance to chat pre-show and do some research on, what's your name?
Sabre.
you didn't know I was going to do that, did you?
No, you didn't.
I haven't seen you do that one.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I
think it's because you were scared.
I wanted to toss it around a little bit, because we've been talking about so much. Sabre Cook, she is awesome. You're a professional race. I'm going to do a little bio on you, and then we're going to just dive into how you got to what you're doing today and the things you do. Okay. You're a professional race car driver and mechanical engineer. You have 14 championships in professional karting and has raced in SCCA, which it stands for Sports Car Club of America, and Road to Indy, F4, F3, W Series, NLS, MK5, WRL, Porsche Sprint Challenge, and now Porsche Carrera Cup North America. So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Don't stop now. I've got more. You've earned your bachelor's in science and mechanical engineering from the Colorado School of Mines in 2017. And just to be clear, it's Mines, M-I-N-E-S, not Mimes. I was corrected earlier. And you worked for Nissan Infinity Global. I'm correct, right?
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
Crushing it.
And what was it? Alpine F1 team, Formula Mazda, and Ed Carpenter Racing and Parada Autosports. And for those of you who are in the Indy area or anyone in the race car industry knows the name Ed Carpenter, in an IndyCar, obviously. We've had actually a lot of great car racers, car drivers. Mm-hmm. What do you call yourself as just to the common folk, not in the industry?
Race car driver?
Just a race car driver. Because we talked about it's a little different in Europe or...
Yeah, a lot of times they say racing driver.
Racing driver. Okay, so my good friend Mark Russell always makes fun of me when I say racing and not race car. So now that I know it's a European thing, I can get away with it.
There you go.
But we had Al Unser Jr. on our show, Sebastian Savadra, I say his name something.
It's Savadra?
Savadra, yes. And he's a friend of mine. He's going to laugh when he watches this and say he's pronounced my name wrong. Jack Dossie, the third, who's a great guy. He runs the dirt tracks and all different kinds of race guys. And we're actually making a movie. I don't know if you know about the first Indy 500. The very first Indy.
The Marmon Wasp one?
Yeah.
She knows her shit.
She knows her shit. Yeah. We just start, this show's going to change right now. I have some things that I was going to discuss, but we're not going to do that.
Okay.
And so do you know there's who we're going to, the show is about? The movie is about? I'm sorry.
Ray Haroon?
He's the winner, yeah.
Yeah. And do you know who the other guy is maybe? There's another key person. Another key person.
The guy who built the track.
The guy who built the track. If you say this, I mean, you get 5 stars. You know what? We won't.
Can I get a hint?
Yeah. Well, he built a lot of the roads in America. He built Key West. Key West or the Keys?
He did. His name is Carl Fisher.
I don't think I would have got that.
Okay.
Wait, is that why it's like Fishers, Indiana? Is that tied together?
It is not.
Absolutely not. But I asked the same question.
Okay.
So I just interrupted the intro. I didn't even finish the intro.
That's all right.
Okay, you also like giving back. You help all the Girl Scouts, Women in Motorsports North America, Shift Up Now Foundation, Tech Force Foundation, and Penn Fed Foundation. And we're probably going to get you involved with the VFW, Veterans of Foreign War, Carmel Post 10,003, which is the best VFW in America. And not because I'm the commander, it's because we have an amazing team of people. And I can tell you this place is the place that you want to be. And that's just not a shout out to the VFW, but it is. But when I mentioned the VFW, I know you have not been there yet. So you will be our guest there and you're going to love it. And next thing you know, we're going to have a race car out front with you signing autographs. It's going to be awesome.
And she's got some brothers in the military. Is that what?
Two cousins.
Two cousins.
Two
Yeah,
cousins. And Iraq veteran. Is that what Iraq veteran?
Yeah, they
Iraq.
went to Iraq and Iran,
Yeah.
and the other was. I feel bad. I don't know. What's the controller where they call the
control.
tell them where to drop the bombs?
Yeah, attack P.
Okay, there you go.
Were they in the
other
Air
one was
Force?
Army was.
Army.
that
Oh, I
one,
think
yeah.
there's a different name for them, but it doesn't matter. I mean, well, it does matter, but I'm just saying, yeah. And one was a paratrooper.
One was a paratrooper, yeah.
Awesome. But the show's not about them, and maybe we'll have them on the show one day. We do have a lot of military people on the show, some
Love that.
legit, pretty badass guys and girls. But the show's about you. Let's back it up a little bit from the beginning, right? So you decided at what age you thought it'd be fun to rip around in the go-karting world, and actually then felt like it was now a passion. This is what I'm going to do. Let's start from the beginning.
From the beginning, okay. So I had a super cool dad. Like I'm very lucky in the fact that he's given me so much encouragement and support all throughout my career, despite me being a woman.
And is he
in a
still
man's
alive
field.
today?
Yes.
Okay, because you
he
said had.
is.
I didn't know if you.
Oh no, sorry. I have a very cool.
Okay,
dad.
yeah,
My
cool.
bad. My bad.
No, not at all. I was just curious. Okay.
He used to race motocross and supercross professionally himself.
Nice.
Back in the 80s, he used to like run Honda a lot, and he and my mom did not want me racing motorcycles. So they were like, okay, four wheels.
Do you ride motorcycles though?
I did ride a motorcycle before I ever raced a go-kart.
I love it.
I almost crashed into a ditch and like hit a car, I think a couple times because I didn't understand the let go of the throttle situation. But that was the whiskey throttle type thing. So I started in go-karts just before I was 8 years old. Drove my first go-kart. And
how fast did it go?
Oh, it's one of those kid kart ones.
Yeah.
So it's like a 50 cc. I think max speed, I don't even know, probably like 50 miles an hour, like at most.
Just a little 50, kid kart 60. Doing 50, 60 miles an hour, 2 inches off the ground.
Yeah. I guess it is. It was I'm glad I did the motorcycle first because I think it prepared me well. But it was just something I was super excited about. I took off like in my first go-kart and we had like a little kid track set up, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is my moment. So I go out and I'm like full speed into the first turn. Didn't realize that you had to brake for the corners. So I was just
something
like
they should have taught you.
on. But I had the dad who
right,
was
Justin?
more like,
they should have taught you that.
But I think my dad's one of those parents like, oh yeah, go figure it out.
Yeah.
So I ended up spinning out and scared myself. And then
wait, and how old you said you were? 8 years old?
Just before I was 8, so I was like 7.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then from then on, like for a couple years, I was so slow. They jokingly called me driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, I don't know if that's the name you want to be called in racing.
No, it was not. So, and then I remember distinctively there was like a race that we had because I grew up in Colorado. And there was
in Colorado?
Grand Junction.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had a race up in Steamboat in a parking lot where they set up a temp course.
Yeah.
And there was like this little boy who started teasing me and was like, I'm faster than you. You're slow. You're going to lose, blah, blah, blah.
You punched him in the face.
I got very angry. And I went to my dad because at the time the cart that I had was like my cousin's hand-me-down cart that it definitely couldn't win the class even if I really took it seriously.
Right.
So I was like, if I had a faster car,
I had a better
win,
car.
like typical race car driver things. Yeah. I was practicing. So he was like, okay, fine, we'll give you a shot. We'll take it seriously. Got me the cart that was competitive in the class, and then from the very next race, won by 10 seconds. It was like a light switch. I was like, I don't like to be told that I can't do something or that I'm not good enough or that I'm going to lose. And I just like was obsessed.
And he had not got you a faster car at this point.
Yeah. It was just, he didn't think I was taking it seriously.
Right.
He didn't know.
So you won with the car you didn't think you could win with.
Yeah.
Just being clear, right?
Yeah.
Some everyday, Justin, that's some everyday GSD shit right there.
Absolutely.
You're winning. You're like, I need a faster car. But then you're like, actually, I'm going to win anyway.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been an underlying theme for a lot of my racing career is like kind of being, I don't want to be the underdog, but like having those disadvantages and just being like, I don't care. I'm going to find a way to win no matter what.
Right.
And just figure it out. I feel like that's been my motto from like, since I was a kid, is like, I'll just figure it out.
I do have to ask though, after you beat the boy who was a jerk,
yeah.
Did you go over and rub it in his face a little?
No.
Good for you. Look at me.
I think it was definitely a normal occurrence that once I started taking it seriously and started winning and being more competitive, you know, you have the dad son combos that were definitely infuriated by the situation.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely,
you let that girl beat you.
Yes.
I can only imagine what some of these.
Yeah.
I love
was interesting, but you got thick skin from it, so I can't be too sad that it happened. It helped me grow a lot and deal with a lot of pressure.
So you're go-karting, and it's you won like 14 championships.
Yep. I have 3 world championships, 3 national championships, and then 8 Colorado championships. So
go-karting.
In go-karting, yeah. So you can go pro in karting.
Correct.
And race for a factory team. And then I was part of Team USA in 2015. So I went to the World Finals and was the first female ever globally to qualify for what we call a KZ World Championship, which is the shifter carts.
Okay.
So a lot of my championships are in the shifter carts. And so
and how fast do they go?
Oh, it depends on how long the track is, right? So
what's the fastest they go? How about that?
I feel like the fastest I ever went was on a street course in where was that? Not Modesto, California. It was at there was another street track. I can't remember the name of it right now. Too many concussions. Yeah. there's some street track there, and they had like the things that the cops will set up to take your speed. So they had one at the end of the straightaway, and I think we got up to like 111 or something like
over
that.
100 miles an hour, like literally inches off the ground.
Yeah, it's slightly terrifying now that I think about it, but back then I was too young to even like realize I wasn't invincible. So,
and you mentioned too many concussions. I'm sure not saying that as a joke. You've had accidents.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
When was your first accident as a kid?
Oh, the first big one I remember, I was probably maybe 11. I got like ran over. I was used as like a human ramp. There was like a crash that happened and somehow my car ended up like this. And then somebody like ran over the top of me. So like bruised sternum, I think like whiplash. And I think that was my first concussion.
And how old were you then?
11.
That's a tough hit at 11, right? Like awesome. I feel like today, like when a kid falls off a bicycle, like everyone's, I don't know. There's going to be moms out here that are going to never watch this show again. I'll move on. When I was a kid, there was more injuries maybe.
Well, there was no helmets, no safety gear, no nothing.
Yeah, I feel like yours and like my dad's generation was definitely like, you're fine. Quit your bitching, dust yourself off, get back up kind of thing.
Okay, so you're 8 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. You're winning all these. How long did you go kart for? Is that what you call it, or karting, right?
Yeah, karting. So actually, it was a bit unusual for me. I had like awesome family supported me, but my dad always jokes, he's like, sorry honey, you were born to the wrong family, because they unfortunately didn't have the financial resources to help me get into car racing. So I ended up karting for a really long time, like going off of like racing with factory
but it's a sport itself.
Yeah, it is but I didn't make my first car race happen thanks to a sponsor who was he was the one that like gave me the shot until I was almost 23 years old. Okay,
so let's not jump to 23 yet, because I didn't realize from the years of 8 to 23 you were karting, hence all the championships and your amazing resume. So let's talk about that for a little longer.
Yeah.
So like tell me some more races or like some opportunities where it brought you, and 14 championships.
I mean, she said world championships. I mean,
that's
insane.
Yeah, that's insane. So what's the coolest place you've had the opportunity to go and not necessarily win, but clearly you won a bunch because you're a world champion, but where's the coolest spot you raced as I'll say a kid, a teenager, and a young adult?
I would say, so in those karting years, the coolest place that karting probably took me was... Oof, I feel like it's a tough choice. The first time I won a scholarship at 16 to go internationally, I got to race in the south of France, and that was super, super cool. I think that the town
like
was
Nice?
called La Vlanée, so I guess it's not that far from Nice, maybe.
Okay.
So that was a special experience. And then
is this in the street you're racing?
no, this is on a racetrack.
On a
Yeah, it's on
racetrack.
a
Okay,
racetrack.
because I was gonna be those
Actual
streets are
racetrack.
crazy.
No, we're not doing Isle of Man or anything like that. But yeah, I would say that's one of them. And then when we did the World Finals in Portugal, like easily, I literally stood on the beach for maybe 5 minutes because we were there to race. But I was like, before we left, I made it a point. I was like, I gotta go at least look at the beach. And the beaches in Portugal were like easily one of the prettiest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're getting to race on all these cool spots and you're winning.
I didn't win in Portugal,
but you're winning. Yeah. You're starting to win more.
Yeah, that's how I would like win the scholarships to be able to go race overseas. Okay. Yeah.
And then when you're winning scholarships, so that's helping fund you racing. But are you on a team?
Yeah. Yep. On a team. So I race for CRG. Burrell was the chassis that we ran on the World Finals, and then Energy Kart was what I finished my karting career with. So
when you say you finished your karting career, is that because it was time for you? You said, you know what, now I'm going to get in the race cars, or was it that you had kind of? Is there an age limit?
No, you can race in what they call the Masters category.
Okay,
and that can be anywhere from 35 and up, or they have like another category that I think it's 45 and up now.
And I'm asking because I really don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience don't know, so that's why I'm not questioning it. It's very like cool to me.
No, you can go race later in life. So anybody out there that's like, oh man, I wish I would have had my shot to go racing, you can still do it. We like without having AMs and pro AMs that are coming into the sport, like half of motorsports like wouldn't exist. So yeah, it's a cool time. And then you get to like, it's that meeting, especially like the series that I'm in now, which is sanctioned by IMSA, which I guess we can talk about later, but there's pros that will race with, are required to have like a bronze or an AM driver in your driver lineup when you do the endurance races.
Okay, when you say endurance racing, because I'm asking a lot of questions, yeah. And I know that's what the show's about, but I'm asking because I really have no idea. And every time I've had a race car or a race driver on the show, I'm intrigued because it's just a sport I don't know. I love watching it. I love going to it live. I love seeing the checkered flag and the green flag, and it's so fun, especially being here in Indiana. Yeah. But I just don't know much about the sport.
There's so much to learn, and it's even overwhelming for people that are in it because there's so many different sectors of motorsports, whether it's asphalt, dirt, circle track, like different cars, different series. There's a lot to learn, right? So it is sometimes hard to follow as someone that like as an enthusiast, like looking to watch it and learn more about it. But for when I'm in endurance racing, so I'm talking about like 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, like
Sebastian won that one
year. Yeah, I'm sure they a lot of the like the top, IndyCar, Formula One, those like open wheel guys will cross over into the sports car world either after they're done in the open wheel side of things or as like one-off races.
Yep. Because isn't there a race, and I'm asking because I'm sure you probably know. So it's right after the Indy 500, but it's NASCAR, and like it's kind of, basically there's very few drivers that they basically get out of the car at Indy 500 and helicopter fly.
It's the 600. Was it the Coca-Cola 600?
Yeah, something like that. But that's the same thing, right? You're just like from race. You're going from, when I say same thing, you're going from one type of car to a completely different race module. Like it's just. Yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing, and what people don't usually appreciate enough about motorsports, specifically car racing, is that as a driver, everything is always changing. The track is never the same. The car is never the same. The tires, like everything is always changing. So like the best drivers that come out on top and you see that are like the greats, their biggest asset is their ability to be adaptable. And so that's why you see like that you'll have these specific drivers like, I know Kyle Larson is highly rated right now. Like his ability to get in and drive anything and everything absolutely to the limit is what sets him apart from someone else.
But how do you learn all the different variations of cars? Or that's not what I just feel like that seems like so difficult. You're really good at driving. I'm not talking the difference between driving like a Porsche series and a Nissan series. And maybe I am. I don't know. But I'm thinking when you can go into like, you watch the Indy cars go around the Indianapolis track, the Indy series, and then you look at NASCAR. I mean, these are two different animals.
Yeah, very, very different.
And so that driver, he or she that can lateral over to either direction is like, I mean, you're mastering the art of just driving fast vehicles.
Yeah, it's really about like feeling the limit of the tire. So it's all about because that's really the only thing that's in contact with the road, right? So it's all about finding the limit of the tire quickly and finding out what doesn't work and being able to risk going over the limit and within reason, right? Being able to bring it back.
Where can you max it out without going over?
Or just a little bit over, but being able to bring it back. So you're always just driving to the limit.
Have you ever got a speeding ticket?
Oh, yeah.
But what she was going back to before was...
I apologize.
I mean, I feel like if I didn't, I couldn't be a race car driver. They should pull my license or something.
Wasn't that tire thing the whole plot of Days of Thunder?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't Jack say that was the best movie ever?
I think so.
I'm trying to remember.
Do you watch racing movies? Do they upset you? Did you watch F1?
Oh, yeah. I watched it. I did watch it.
And?
I did watch it. Well, so I guess... I gotta say, from the racing community, like, I get people are like, oh, this isn't realistic. This would never happen. But the thing is, fighter pilots don't go watch Top Gun and be like, this is dumb. This isn't real life. Like, you have to understand that it's made to be cinema, and it's made for the average everyday person to get them excited about the sport and get them to want to watch it.
Oh no, my favorite TikTok page is watching the fighter pilots watch Top Gun and just bamboozle it. It's hilarious.
That's funny.
I think you just have to like know what perspective they're trying to take.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about fighter pilots. We're talking about you. Let's get back on track, Justin.
Sorry.
No, totally kidding. So yeah, because I'm just so intrigued by racing in general. Like that, you start off in go-karts. And then you end up at 23.
23, yep.
After winning world championships, 14 championships in professional sport. And you're like, yeah, I can retire now and go into a different career. I have a bachelor's degree now, but I actually want to race what?
Cars. So
just cars.
Just something, yeah. So I guess to give a little context behind that, like, every karting driver, usually, like, our goal is always to move up into car racing. Like, we don't want to stop in karting if we can help it. But it takes a significant jump in budget to be able to race cars. So I was
significant money.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So most people probably don't realize this, but like, you have to bring money to do everything until you are in the top in Formula One, NASCAR, IndyCar. Then you become one of the select few, or you're you driving for a manufacturer like Porsche in IMSA or WEC. But until you're one of those select few, you are having to bring hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars just to get there. So
that much.
Yeah. You have to. So to just get to like being the level where you no longer have to bring sponsorship, you're going to spend several $1 million just to get there.
But isn't the point of, isn't everyone, I shouldn't say isn't, doesn't everyone get sponsors?
Not as much as you think, not as much as it used to be. The landscape of motorsports has changed a lot. It used to be a little bit more where it was much more accessible. It was a chance where the pro drivers could come in and get a ride, but that just unfortunately doesn't exist anymore. I was just talking to Andrew Davis about this. He's like a really successful sports car driver, and he was talking about how he's 40, I think he's 45-ish now, and he was talking about how anybody under 40 now, like our generations, there's no pathway for us to be able to just get like seats without having to bring some sort of funding and sponsorship. So
it's kind of like pay to play.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And there's a lot of deception out there, I feel like, because a kid will have their family will pay for them to be racing, and then maybe you'll have one company that gives them like maybe $10,000, and they wrap the entire car as that company, but most of the money is coming from mom and dad. And so sometimes it's
this is the business of racing that people don't know about.
Oh yeah.
Let's continue on that. Oh, yeah. I'm intrigued.
So I guess like,
'cause how do you stand out?
Yeah. So I guess like that was what I was trying to figure out, right? Because I'm like going to college. I'm like, what the heck?
And you have your bachelor's degree.
Yeah. Well, that was before I graduated. While I was in college, I was like trying to figure out like, how do I raise enough sponsorship to go to cars? How do there's not a lot of blueprints on how to get where you're going if you don't have some sort of like big financial backing. So I was like, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? And I did it every which way wrong, but I learned a lot along the way.
Right.
And then, so the way that I finally got in was I had interacted with a guy who brought his grandson down to the go-kart track in Grand Junction. I didn't know who he was at the time.
So is this you're creating a team, or this is you? So
it's just you raising sponsorship and you bring it to the team.
Okay.
That's how all motorsports works. Like, pull back the covers. That's every single person on the grid that's racing alongside me in Carrera Cup. Either they are bringing their own
Porsche
money.
Carrera Cup, right?
Porsche Carrera Cup.
Yep.
They are either bringing their own money or they have sponsors that are paying the teams to be there. The team is not being like, hey, we have a seat. Do you want to audition and we'll pay for you to race? That doesn't happen until you get to the top. So,
and how much is one, just approximately, and not to hold your feet to the fire, but what does one of the Porsche race cars cost?
The car itself, or how much does the season cost?
Let's go with, which one's easier to answer for you right now?
Either one. I can answer both.
Then answer both.
So a brand new car with wheels and spares that is low on engine hours is probably going to run you at least $325 to $350K.
Okay.
And then if you're looking to win the championship, if you want to have the budget that the winners are spending to win.
Because how many races are there?
There's 16 races, 8 different race weekends, and we race.
And you could technically wreck the car a couple times.
Yep.
And you probably are actually going to bump it up a little bit, right?
It is it unfortunately happens, but yeah, you have to have crash damage budget. Sometimes, depending on the team you're with, you're required to have insurance. Our major costs for the year, most of it goes towards transport, tires, brakes. Are the
transport.
3.
You got to move the vehicles.
Yep. Those big trucks cost a lot to move, and tires. We use 3 sets of tires on a weekend. That's easy, $10,000 gone. Brakes easily $7,500 per race weekend, and you're using more than that in a test because you're running more laps. So it adds up very, very fast. So for like a single season, if you want to like spend the budget that the guy that's winning Porsche Carrera Cup right now,
or woman,
or a woman hasn't won yet, but I'm working.
There's gonna be one. There's gonna be one. You heard it first here on the Everyday GSD podcast, people.
I gotta close the budget gap first so I can drive as much. But so they'll spend easily like $1.2 million on testing and with racing testing combined.
Yeah, and to move the cars, you got to think about, you need the driver, you need the truck, the tools,
becomes a big investment. Investment.
So it's interesting because talking to you, and like I said, I've had several race car drivers on the show, some very well known, some famous individuals, and I don't think we talked about that at all. I'm trying to remember, but I think it's interesting to me that you were rattling off numbers pretty fast. Is that something that you thought about? I'm just throwing this out there. Have you ever thought about, because you said there's no blueprint, right? Did you ever think about writing like, and I don't want to say a book, but like hey, if you're trying to get into this is probably what it's going to cost you in this type of field, because I've done it. So someone who wants to be a driver and that doesn't understand that, they could be going down this road and not realize that, and it doesn't really matter how good they are.
Yep. That's I guess the somewhat really frustrating part about motorsports is like you can have all the talent in the world, but at the end of the day, any sport, anything you do, you're going to get better the more you practice, right? And practice costs a lot of money in
practice
motorsports.
Costs money in motorsports, yeah.
So if you're
not kicking a soccer ball on a open field.
No, sadly not. It's like it'd be like the soccer ball costing money. It costs money every minute you're on the field, and that would be kind of the equivalent. But you basically go up against these people that have the budget to do more practice, even if you are super talented, and then you have to compete with less seat time. So that's something that I've spent most of my career trying to overcome.
Right. But in the karting world, you not only overcame it, you mastered it, because I keep saying this over and over again. When I don't care, I'll probably say it a couple more times because it's amazing. 14 championships. And how many? 2 world championships?
3.
3. Oh, sorry, 3. Yeah, three world championships. So now you're in the Porsche what is
Porsche
it?
Carrera Cup.
And so I'm assuming you're racing a Porsche.
Yes.
I mean,
Porsche. Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming, right?
Porsche GT3 Cup car.
Justin's laughing, but there's people on this that are listening to this show that
Darin.
But Justin, there's people on the show that are listening to the show that might not know that. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
you can.
wouldn't know.
You could potentially. It's just the name of the series, and you can race any car. But like, yeah.
Yep. It's the current the latest version of whatever the GT3 Cup is what will be raced in Carrera Cup and Super Cup. So when I say that, I know that's like probably confusing to a lot of people. So basically there's ladder systems, right, to any top level in motorsports. And so Porsche has a ladder system where you can race in Sprint Challenge, Porsche Carrera Cup, Porsche Super Cup, and then you basically hopefully get chosen by the factory Porsche team to then go race in a GT3 car, GTP car, stuff like that. So you stay within the Porsche factory and you're a works driver. I forgot what the original question was.
Well, speaking of Porsche, I think our first reel should be her taking you for a ride in your Porsche.
Now everyone who doesn't know me knows that I have a Porsche.
Oh, we talk about it all the time.
Okay.
What do you have?
You know what? The show's not about me.
Okay.
Lame.
We were joking with a previous guest. They enjoyed cars, and the individual asked me if I was a car guy, and I said no. And then he was like, well, I noticed these cars that you have. I feel like you're a car guy. And then Justin and I laughed, and Justin goes, he's not a car guy. He just likes to have a couple nice cars that I like to drive. And yeah, and then I bring them to a shop, and they get worked on. And, I'm a handy man, but one thing I'm not doing is ripping a Porsche engine apart.
But I want to zip you around these roundabouts in your Porsche.
Yeah, so my friend Flavio, who's a Muay Thai fighter, actually world champion, Muay Thai fighter, great guy. He came out to visit. We had a big lobster party here. We used to do it on Memorial Day. Sorry, it was on Labor Day, the end of the summer. And so he came, and he was like, oh, and he was a car guy.
Yeah.
Loved his cars, and he was like, always driving fast and like working on him and souping him up. And so he saw my Porsche, and he wanted to take it for a little rip around here. And we got a lot of roundabouts, as you know.
Oh yeah.
And so he takes it out, and he goes, he goes, I'll bring you for a ride. I was like, sure. We were like going sideways around these roundabouts. And he was in total control. And I was like, we have a lot of roundabouts, but we also have a lot of police.
Yes.
So you better slow it down. He's like, I'll take the ticket. He's like, I don't care.
He's like, it's worth the fun.
Yeah. And I was like, I was holding on like, what?
No, it's super fun here in the winter because all the roundabouts freeze. And so it's
isn't it great?
So much easier to like drift around.
Just drift around them out.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the city's roundabouts.
It makes me feel at home though, because I used to live in the UK, and so when we moved here to Carmel, I was like, oh, amazing. It's just the wrong direction, but other than that, it feels like the UK again.
So how long were you in the UK?
Just over a year.
Okay, what were you doing there? School or racing?
So that was when I guess kind of combination of both. So that was when I was working for Nissan and Infiniti at their technical center Europe, that's based in Milton Keynes.
And so what were you doing at the technical center?
So I was a vehicle test engineer. And then after that, I went and worked for Renault F1, which is now Alpine F1.
And you heard my car knowledge, so can you tell me what a vehicle test engineer is?
So it depends, I guess, on what you get assigned. But mine specifically it's not as cool as it sounds. Like
sure does sound pretty cool.
It doesn't sound. It's not as cool as it sounds. But we basically do like environmental testing. So we'll put the car like in a chamber and like make it really cold, make it really hot, drive it on certain routes, different asphalts, different like we'll take it to a track, like a testing track. The one we use in the UK is called Millbrook, and we'll make sure that nothing is like falling apart, making weird noises. If it is, then we got to figure out why. So it's not as crazy.
So is this a car that's not in production yet, or this is a car?
Both. So it's like pre-production and post-production cars.
Okay, so when you hear a car gets a recall on something, that's because someone like you has found this issue?
Yeah, it's like, this is an issue. We need to do a countermeasure, or if it's not something that we can, easily do, then that's when a recall is made.
Okay, so you were doing that, but you're racing.
I was racing in W Series at the time.
Okay, and what's W Series?
So W Series is basically what F1 Academy was before.
Okay.
But it was in F3 cars instead of F1 Academy is in F4 cars. And you didn't have to pay to be a part of W Series. You had to go through a very rigorous like selection process and qualify and get tested and all this stuff. And then you earned one of 18 spots on the grid.
Okay.
And then you got paid in prize money based on where you finished for the season.
And that money just gets thrown right back into the car, or does that go to the driver?
So that actually goes back to the driver. There's no, like, I've never raced in another series that existed like that. It's now bankrupt and out of business, which kind of stinks, but it was amazing while it lasted. So yeah, that's like the only championship in the world that I know of that existed like that, where they took 60 of us, qualified down to the top 18, and then every year, like 6 new drivers would get put in.
So how competitive was that?
Have you heard of Jamie Chadwick? She raced Indy Next. She won.
Actually, I have. Yeah.
So she won when I was in the series. She's the one that won 2 years in a row.
Okay. So competitive.
So pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty competitive.
Pretty competitive.
Yeah. So now that you're in the Porsche, I'll call it the Porsche series. It's not correct. The Porsche
Carrera Cup.
Cup. And where do they race?
So we are the North America series. So we race Canada and U.S.
So all over North America.
All over North America.
So do you race in Montreal, Toronto?
Montreal only this
Okay.
time. Yeah. So we'll run on 3 Formula One weekends, and the rest are IMSA weekends.
Wait, hold on 1 second. I apologize. Are you racing in the street?
No, we're racing on racetracks.
You're racing on track. Okay.
Racetracks,
Okay.
yeah. Unless you count, I mean, Long Beach is
Yeah.
technically a street course.
Yeah.
And so is, Montreal isn't like a track that you run all year round, but it
Right.
is more of a permanent track. And then Miami it started out as a temporary track, but it's very permanent.
Were you at
now.
Miami this year?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It was crazy this year, right?
Compared to other years?
Like amount of people that came down to watch it?
It increases every single year, which is really cool to see.
Because one of my friends was down there watching all the stuff that happened, and he was like, "This is so crazy." Because a friend of mine, he watches a lot of it, so he's very familiar with it. And he was like, "It was way more people."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say it maybe jumped up at least 30,000 more people year to year.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
So do you prefer street or track?
Oh, I guess probably
I love that it's tough to answer.
it is hard. I guess it depends on the street track, because some of them are like not always as cool, because sometimes some street tracks are very like straight line chicane. But
Right.
I would say probably track, I guess.
Okay.
Probably track.
Yeah. And so when's your next race, or when are you done racing?
No, so we are just over halfway through our season.
Halfway through. Okay.
Our next,
I never know when the seasons are. Or,
it's kind of confusing, especially because IndyCar, their season ends really early and they have a little bit of a longer off season. We race until the end of October. So we have 3 separate different tracks we're still going to race at, and our next one is actually next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
okay. So by the time this airs, you'll have already won that race.
I'm gonna try. We'll see how it works out. But.
We'll make a reel about that after she wins to make sure we re-highlight. By the way, she did win.
There you
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I like it. Manifesting it.
What's the preparation that you have to do for a race?
So normally, if you have ideally the budget to do it, you'll do a test at the track before you race there. So a test is basically practice.
Right.
So we'll have like usually a 2-day test event where we test different setups on the car. We'll test ourselves as drivers, trying out different things, trying to improve our techniques to get faster. And we'll do make sure we have one pace quali setup and a race run setup, so we know what the balance of the car is going to be for both of those things. And then, but before you even do the test, I do a lot of work on the simulator. So doing tons of different drills.
Do you have your own simulator?
I do have my own simulator. Yeah, I have a MySim in my, and it's perfect because it's actually really compact, so it fits perfectly in our apartment.
Did you buy it, or did someone sponsor you?
I split it with a sponsor, actually.
Nice.
So 50-50, which was nice. It's super valuable. Now the simulator technology that's out there is incredible. It's so much better than what it used to be even 5 years ago. And it's instrumental now for every professional driver to be prepared for whatever race they're going into.
Okay, so now that you answered that for being prepared, what about for you physically and mentally?
Yeah, so physically, usually we'll train about 6 days a week. I work with Pit Fit, which is their headquarters are here in Indianapolis. They also have a second location in Charlotte. So what that looks like is we have programming that gets put in our app, and we usually lift 2 to 3 times a week, and then we'll have 2 more circuit sessions, like usually Tuesday, Thursday, and then usually we'll have either a longer cardio session on the Saturday, and we'll have like heat training and neck training sprinkled in there, depending on like.
You said neck training?
Neck training.
Yeah.
Yep. Neck training. Cause, it's not something that obviously is a normal thing to train in the gym. But we have lots of different equipment that helps us train our necks, cause there's very high G loading when you're racing. So,
and explain that, please.
G loading. Okay.
Yeah.
So, G force.
And by the way, I do know this, Justin, this is for everyone else listening. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about, but this time I do, but continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, as you're sitting, anybody that's listening, you're experiencing 1 G because you're not moving. Anytime you get accelerated or decelerated, you're going to experience more than 1 gravitational force. That's what a G force is.
Right.
So when you're racing, you're experiencing multiple G's because of the change of direction of the car. And it's like, it's loading you, it's pushing on you, it's pushing on your neck, on your head. And so you have to have a strong neck to keep your head upright. But also a big part of it is actually making sure you have a strong neck to be concussion resistant. So the stronger your neck is.
I knew it. That's more important.
Yeah. Which I'm sure your Muay Thai friend, I'm sure he like does it all the time.
Oh, some of their exercises they do are wild.
I feel like the most intense neck training I've ever done was actually at a boxing gym. I feel like I couldn't hold my head up afterwards.
I want you to continue that, but hold on 1 second before you do. Do you know that Joe Rogan, this is not a shout out.
Oh, the iron neck?
Yeah, does that work?
Yes. Yeah, I have one at home. Yeah. And we use them all the time at Pit Fit.
Yeah. Okay.
They're super helpful. Then they look
So I just
weird.
gave him a shout out. I wasn't trying to.
You're welcome, Joe Rogan.
You're welcome, Joe Rogan. I just made it increase your sales.
I mean, I used to have a partnership with Iron Neck, so they're a great company.
Nice.
They do a good job. I think they're based in Austin. They're good guys. So
okay.
Happy to give them a shout out. But yeah, it is.
But I heard they were really good.
They are really good. Yeah, they are. Just anybody that tries them, if you're not used to doing neck training though, like just be generally careful when you first start doing it, because if you're not used to it, it's like any exercise. Don't jump in on the deep end, otherwise you can hurt yourself.
Yeah. So when I played hockey years ago, competitively, one of the things that we would do is like a towel, and then you have to do these exercises, and someone's holding the towel down because I'm a little older, and there was all these exercises. Obviously, a stronger neck. It's very important.
Yeah, super.
It's very important in a lot of sports. I think people don't realize that. But one thing I noticed in talking to some of my friends that are in the race car industry and listening to you, that's why I want, and I want you to continue about the fitness and the diet too. It's, you think people just, you're just, I can be a race car driver. I love to go fast and go, I can do that. And you're like, that's this much of it, man.
I wish that was the majority of it.
Yeah,
but it's
right.
Not. Yeah.
So like diet,
I mean, I generally try to just eat pretty clean. It depends. Yeah. Each person obviously is unique and different. But like I do really well on like, I guess kind of paleo with a little added extra like rice and stuff in there.
Okay. A little paleo-ish.
Paleo-ish, but sometimes it gets super hard with how much we travel. So sometimes you're just like, what is the most high protein, like cleanest option I can get? And sometimes that's literally ordering a chicken sandwich and pulling off the bun and eating it with the lettuce.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah. It's not always easy. But yeah, just like being conscious of just like eating clean, especially with all the travel. When you go on an airplane and you have the pressure changes, it increases your inflammation a lot, which most people maybe don't think about, but that's why like compression socks are really important, and like taking anti-inflammatories, because we are constantly.
Before you fly, you take that?
Before and after. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. I know about the compression socks. So because of the air pressure, you'll have a higher inflammatory on your joints and ligaments and all that? Yeah,
so when you go up in an airplane, right, the pressure decreases, which allows all of your veins to expand. And when that happens, that like creates a lot of swelling, and also like just sitting around a lot, not eating great food, that's going to make you that's going to cause more inflammation and allow you to retain a lot more like fluid and water. So you're going to be more swollen. So yeah, it creates a lot more inflammation, and that's why it's often travel. They say, travel's hard on your body. That is part of it.
Now, when you're traveling through, I'll call it America, not North America, is there times where you prefer to be in the vehicle, the bus, or the whatever you can do, and so you can sleep and rest and not have to get in the plane? Does that help you or no? Or you're like, I'd rather get there in 2 hours and I'll get in a hotel and get in.
So we don't. I get like. Are you saying be in the race trailer?
No, not the race trailer. Like a trailer.
Just a trailer.
A travel trailer.
Usually, like if we're in Indy, it's easy to drive to like Road America and a couple other tracks. Then if it's within reasonable distance, I'll drive. But otherwise,
like what's your limit?
I think if it's over.
Because Road America, Atlanta.
If it's over 6.5 hours, then like I'll consider just flying.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to drive a couple cars in Road America.
Oh, it's a great track.
Yeah, it was
awesome
pretty.
Track.
And it made me really appreciate. I hope I didn't tell this story with another driver, but it made me really appreciate the art of the profession, not really knowing it, thinking that I can drive a car pretty good. And in the military, I had taken some driving courses, escape courses and stuff, like defensive driving.
So cool.
I thought it was really cool until I got on this track and thought I knew what I was doing. And guess who didn't know what they were doing? Darin Bibeau. I was so blown away by, and I didn't realize when you, as a guest watching the performance, I mean, there's like the banks are like this, but until you're on it, you don't realize the way these tracks are really designed.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing like, for me, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, but knowing that someone that's really racing is doing like 100 plus and they're just going so fast. And when you say wear and tear on the body and the strength that you have to have, I remember I did it with my friend who unfortunately has passed away now, Jack Cohen, rest in peace, Jack. We had the opportunity to go play on this track for 3 days.
At Road America.
Yeah, it was a super cool thing. And ironically, there was a little storm right before we got there. So basically, most of the people canceled their flight. So it was Jack and I. And
so the whole track by yourself?
Yeah, and the instructors in all these cars for 3 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was absolutely... I learned so many cool things about cars, of the limits you can... When I say the limits I could push it to, just to be clear. But I was blown away. And there was this one time I was in... We did BMWs, Porsches, Lamborghinis. There was a whole bunch of variety of cars. And I remember I was in this one car and I was doing about 100 miles an hour. And in my mind, I was doing 500. Right, yeah. I was doing 1,000 miles an hour, and I look and I'm doing 100. And I got my helmet on, I'm holding on like this, and I'm thinking like people on this track are going probably twice as fast sometimes. Like I don't know how fast they go, but depends on what they're racing. But I'm like, and you just watch that and you're like, and that night I remember going to the gym. I didn't work out. Went to the gym. I went to the steam room, and it was the earliest night because I was like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
like I just worked out all day when I feel like I didn't do anything, but I was so exhausted. So it's funny how the abuse on your body, you just don't, the common person like me doesn't recognize.
Well, I think a lot of it is mental load too, right? It's like mental cognitive load, not just the physical side of things. So it's being able to maintain that level of intensity for long durations. It wears you out.
Yeah.
It definitely wears you out.
So how do you stick with your regimen and your diet when you're on the road? I know you just said you pull a chicken sandwich off the bun and eat the lettuce, but are you still working out, or the actual, now it's game time? You're like, I'm not exercising. I exercise in my off time to make sure I'm ready for the race.
So I guess it depends on what I'm doing during those travels. So if I'm going to a race, I usually generally don't exercise, because you're going to be, you want to be primed, full, physically, mentally ready to perform during that window when you're on the track. If I really feel like I have a lot of extra energy or downtime, then usually it's just like a run where it's maybe like zone 2, zone 3, nothing like crazy.
Zone 2, zone 3, just chilling.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
And then...
Are you a runner by nature?
Oh, I mean... I wish I was a better runner, but I am not like the kind of person where they're just naturally like a good
You
runner.
don't just wake up and go, I feel like running 5 miles today, like some people do.
I mean, sometimes I'll do that, but it's not like I feel like I'm not less inclined to do that.
Right.
I like hiking a lot, but maybe that's just because I grew up in Colorado. But
right.
No, I like running, but it's really hard on the knees. So sometimes I don't do it as much. But it's one of the great things you can do on the road, right? Like all you need is your running shoes and there's a lot of times there's track runs or track walks. So like at the end of the day, if you want to get some workout in, if like I'm working as an engineer or in a different capacity and you're at the track for like 12 hours and it's going to be hard to like get to a gym, that is a great option. You just bring your running shoes and go on a track run.
And so that's the driver.
The driver, yes.
That's you, the driver doing that. Is the rest of the team, because you have because every team has the pit crew and you have all these, are they also, obviously when you watch like, and I'll say the Indy 500 because that's the biggest event here. Yeah. And you watch these pit guys and they're in and out in like seconds. And are they training physically to do that job specifically? Or are they also making sure they're eating healthy? Are they on a regimen? Are they doing all these things that the drivers have to do to some degree?
To some degree, yes. But it depends, I guess, what space you're in. So IndyCar, the guys that are changing the tires and fueling, a lot of times they are mechanics that also work on the cars. So they aren't just, training for performance of the pit stops. They're the mechanics that have all the technical knowledge and the know-how to put the cars together and make them go fast.
Right.
But if you look at NASCAR, everybody that does the pit stops, they are all pretty much former professional D1 athletes. So they are, they come from tennis or football, like rugby, stuff like that. Yeah. They're specifically hired. Like I was just at Penske a couple months ago for our like driver combine that we have every year.
That's in Carolina.
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Well, Mooresville technically, but outside Charlotte. And one of the cool things we get to do every year is we get to jump in and try to do pit stop practice with the guys and the girls. And so this year we actually got to do one with the NASCAR guys, and they are just, insane athletes, right? Like they're all came from D1 or pro football, or there was like a tennis player or a golf player, and they are just, it's impressive to watch what they do. And that's all they do is they practice every single day to do that job. Whereas the IndyCar guys, they're the mechanics and they've got to do different stuff. So it just like, it depends on, I guess, the series that you're in. And then like Formula One, usually you are like a mechanic or doing something else within the team, but then you're also part of the pit crew. And specifically in Formula One, I know they take it very seriously to have physios, or here we call them like physical therapists. Okay. That is designated to that pit stop crew. So like making sure they're taking care of injuries. They'll give them snacks, give them pre-race like fuel, give them hydration tablets. Like they treat them as much like athletes as they do the driver.
Oh, that's awesome. It's interesting because how many years have you been doing this? You said you started at
23 years.
23 years. And I feel like you're so grounded when you talk about these things that, again, I want to mention 3 world championships and 14 championships in karting, let alone the opportunity that you have now and all the other racing. You've traveled around the world doing this. And I feel like you're so grounded telling these stories. And you're actually, we haven't touched on this, but I want to. And you work with charities. You work with the Girl Scouts of America. Is that what it is, Girl Scouts of America?
Specifically right now, I'm Girl Scouts of Central Indiana. So.
Okay, Girl Scouts of Central Indiana. And you and many others. But let's talk about a little bit of your giving back. Because I feel like when we were talking off the air, you were saying like one of the things you do is you feel like you need to give back or you choose to give back.
Yeah. I guess when I was, we kind of touched on it, when I was trying to figure out like, how do I do this? How do I go to college? How do I become a race car driver? And there was no blueprint, right?
Right.
So
you're going to write a book on it.
I'm going to write a book. Well, I guess this is a sidebar, but one of my partners is Trey Corp, and they create learning management systems. Okay. And they've like flirted the idea with me of like creating like the Sabre Cook Racing Academies.
The Sabre Cook Racing Academy.
That sounds like a total winner.
I think that's a home. And I think it also, by the way, it sounds good.
That's everyday GSD.
That's everyday GSD right there. I know you said that, and if anyone's listening and not watching, she did this with her hands. They still can't
little
see.
Sparkle fingers,
but they floated the idea.
Yeah, they've
Hold on, I think
it.
Which one don't want to do the wrong one? Hold on. No, hold on.
The laughing one.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. Justin's so annoyed right now.
Wow.
I feel like you need to label your buttons.
Because I don't use them. No? Okay.
I feel like I liked that one. That was a good. That was a good sound
That was
effect.
the closest one.
Wow.
There it is.
Magic.
Hold on. What's the name of the school?
Sabre Cook Racing Academy.
Perfect.
You
I
know,
love that.
you're the first guest, and we're in season 4 right now, I think.
Well, this will be season 5.
So we're in season 5, and that's the first time I've used outside of the intro any of those buttons. Because when you just said you need to label the buttons, I was like, I've never used them. I do it to annoy him sometimes when it's just us doing other stuff in here. But I was like, wait a minute, there's one that's like, no.
No, it was perfect. It made it sound so much cooler.
Yeah.
So much
that's awesome. I
cooler.
can't wait to let everyone know when that starts, and then you're going to just blow up bigger than you already are. I can't wait. This is going to be a home run.
Yeah, we'll see. It takes a lot of work to create a course, but one day I would definitely like to do that because, most people, young people especially that are really getting into motorsports right now, they're like, how do I become a driver? How do I become an engineer? Like, it's very hard to it's not as easily as like, oh, you go to college, you do this, you do that. But yeah, I basically just felt like I was also a first generation college student. So none of my parents or my family had been through it before. So trying to navigate that on my own was, it wasn't easy. So I feel like any chance that I can to, I guess, inspire not just women, but like the next generation or even somebody that's older than me to still get into motorsports and go after whatever it is that they want to do in life or their biggest goals, their biggest dreams. I want to be able to do that because I think it's so much more accessible than people realize. I think they want to, they have their stories that they tell themselves or the excuses. And it's really like your best life is really just on that other side of that big leap of faith. Yeah.
Earlier we were talking about this and I texted my buddy. So he was a veteran and his daughter, Noelle is her name. And she's 22 years old and her title is, her job title is IMSA front end and cockpit mechanic in the GTP class.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And
so she already works in IMSA then?
Yes.
Awesome.
And she's awesome. She's a rock star. She would come in and volunteer, and it was interesting because there was a complaint about her from a customer. Oh, you'll just laugh. And they said, "Hey, the person didn't wash their hands," and so it came back to us, and we were like, "Huh?" And because she works so much mechanically, her hands are stained.
Yeah.
And so she came back, but someone else would be so upset that happened to them. She was like, I'm not worried about it.
Just silly.
Yeah. She's like, this is silly. And she is legit badass. And I don't know what team she's working with. It doesn't matter. I know she's looking, this is her career. She's 22 years old. And when we first met her, she would ride motorcycles to the VFW.
That's awesome.
And she would show up at the VFW in this cool motorcycle, and then she'd be doing donuts in the parking lot. I was like, who's this girl? And it was Phil's daughter. So when you mentioned it's so cool to see women or younger girls trying to get into this career path, and it is available.
It is. Yeah.
You have to just keep working your ass off and figure out a path, and they're going to follow your path because you're going to have your own school.
Well,
right? I'm not pushing the button again, but
yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool to see the growth of women in sports in general, but yeah, specifically in motorsports, it's growing massively right now.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit. What do you want to mention? Because we're almost at an hour and I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're extremely busy and you've been doing interviews for a little while here. Let's talk about what you enjoy the most about giving back in charities.
I would say, I think that the most special thing is when you give someone an experience or enough inspiration that they wouldn't have had otherwise. It's like you see a light bulb kind of click for them where they realize oh, I could actually do this.
Yeah.
Or you give them an experience that they never would have had access to in their life otherwise. And they're especially when they're super thankful and appreciative of it, you feel like you're oh, I made an impact, and hopefully this is going to turn into something bigger for them in their lives, and then they'll help other people. I feel like when you start to see those dominoes fall, that is a really special moment.
Oh, that's a home run statement. And on top of that, I know for a fact you're a role model for a lot of I don't want to just say younger women, just young girls and women in general, and probably a lot of guys too. But the fact that you're already a role model for these people. So do you have a female role model in your life? And you can say your mom, but
I mean, I love my mom. I would say someone specifically that's been an incredible mentor for me and role model for me right now is one of my partners is Privé Hair Care and the CEO of the company. Her and I just get along so well, and you know, with all the sponsorship stuff we talked about, I've had to learn how to become, you know, an entrepreneur and run my own small business. And there's so much like that I did not learn how to do, whether that was like, you know, when you go to school as an engineer, you don't learn how to run your own business. So there's so many things learning how to, you know, manage people and hard decisions you have to make. And so just being able to lean on her, a woman that's had so much career experience, has been really like it's helped relieve a lot of like stress and like uncertainty off my shoulders, because I'm like, I know I have someone to lean on that's been in a similar position before. So her name is Shay Holscher. Shay Holscher.
Shout out to Shay.
Shout out to Shay.
You're doing a good job, Shay, clearly. Okay, before we leave, two things. One, I got a little gift for you just for being on the show, and you're a true everyday GSD rock star female, kick ass across the boards. Love it. But do you have a message for the listeners in an everyday GSD platform to say, hey, this is what motivates me, this is what keeps me going, or this is what you should do, or, you know, never give up? Something from you that you live by.
Something that I live by, I guess I'm very much like a how person, and like my why is because I want to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And so something that I think has pushed me forward towards success is always choosing something that's challenging, right? Because I know it's going to make me grow.
Oh, you're laughing, but you know it's right. You know it's
so
true. Yeah,
like,
it's so true.
Purposely doing things the hard way sometimes. Like, yes, maybe sometimes I make it a little bit too hard, but I think choosing the challenges is often like what has it builds you into so much more robust of a person, but it opens you up to so many more opportunities, and I just think that it builds such a strong foundation to be successsul in anything that you do in life. So I think that's probably my biggest piece of advice.
That's great advice.
Challenges and enjoy the process. That's probably one of the best pieces of advice I've been given. And
enjoy the process. And I think you just shared that advice with everyone. So now you've given that advice. That's awesome. There's two roads to take when you come to the fork in the road, right? The easy road and the hard road. If you take the hard road, you're going to learn a lot more.
Absolutely. I love to learn. I'm a lifelong learner.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Again, I have this shirt for you. I know you'll wear it when you're working out, when you're on the road, or when you're just back here in Indy, just training to be kick-ass and continue winning. We wish you the best of luck. Thanks for spending your time with the Everyday GSD podcast. I'm looking forward to seeing you kick ass across the board. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Darin. Thanks for having me.